Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Srinath Vishwanath, and welcome to the Infomarketing Secret Show. So, today in this episode, I would like to talk about this most controversial topic, which is like, can we teach others our knowledge when we don't got the practical knowledge in it? Okay, today I'm gonna give the answer to this question, which is very common when we are going to get when we think of teaching others our knowledge, what we are good at. Okay, can we still teach others our knowledge if we don't got a practical knowledge in that? Of course, when we got some knowledge, when we know how to do something, how to achieve some specific result, even though if we haven't implemented it in our own life, even though if we haven't got that practical knowledge in that, can we still teach it to others? This is the question, right? So to give answer to this specific question, I would like to talk about this concept called the two ways of execution of our knowledge. Okay, which means there are like always two ways to use our knowledge, whether it's a skill, whether it's a knowledge, whether it's some information. There are always two ways that we can execute upon our knowledge, our skills. Okay, the first one is, which is very common, which is to directly implement those things in our own life. Okay, let's say, for example, let's say that you just attended some webinar or some challenge, you bought some course, and you learned about how to run Facebook ads from some expert. Okay, now the first way that you can use that knowledge is you can utilize that Facebook ads skill that you learned from an expert by implementing it in your own business, in your own life. That's the first way to use that knowledge, right? And the second way is you can directly, share the knowledge, because you learned that from some expert, right? Now you can directly transfer it to others. I hope you're getting the point. You can directly start teaching others how to run Facebook ads because you have learned that from expert who already using it, right? Who is already good at Facebook ads. So you learn from some person who is already good at Facebook ads. Now you're just transferring that knowledge to others. You're teaching it to others, right? There is no wrong in that, guys. Even if you think of the college days or school days, what do you think that our professors, do you think that our professors who taught us how to, how the gravity works, how the Newton's law, all of these things works, do you think that they got practical knowledge in the gravity, or else in the concepts like a lot of concepts, right? Do you think that they got the practical knowledge? No, right? They just read the books, textbooks from our colleges, and they got them very good at it. They got very good grades, so they became professors. Now they are teaching. They taught us how the gravity works, how the Newton's law works, and so many different concepts, right? And even we used to write those things in our examinations, and we used to get very good grades for writing, for sharing that knowledge for writing that knowledge on a paper and giving to them, right? uh, our colleges used to qualify us as an expert student in that specific topic when we simply take the knowledge from our professor and paste it on some paper in an exam, right? So even our professors doesn't got any practical knowledge in that, but still they are teaching it, right? They got doctorate degrees in that. Okay, which means they became experts in that, in teaching people how to do it, but they never got that practical, they never tried that practical thing, right? Of course, some of the professors in the high end universities may got that knowledge, but not a lot of them will have that practical knowledge in what they're actually trying to teach us, right? So in the same way, if I give some other example, many of you may already know this, the famous mathematician of India, the Anandkumar. There was also a movie filmed, which is like called by name like Super 30 by Hrithik Roshan, right? So this showed us that the story of the Anand Kumar, right, who was an Indian from Bihar. I just opened his Wikipedia details here, So he was a very good student, very good in mathematics. So he even got the admission. Anand Kumar even secured, admission in the Cambridge, University of Cambridge in foreign, right? So he just got that seat there for his knowledge, but lack of his resources, lack of his financial, lack of money, because of his financial situation, he was unable to go and join into that Cambridge University, right? So lack of resources here, okay. But still, now do you think that he don't got knowledge to teach others? So what he did, this is a true story, guys. If you don't know, you can go and search on Google Anand Kumar. You will find his story on Wikipedia, okay. So he just started to share his knowledge. He was unable to go to the US to attend the Cambridge University, but then he started to share his knowledge to others. When if he have gone to the University of Cambridge, he may have become some scientist, some very big professional, right? But he doesn't got he was unable to do that because of lack of resources. So now he started to teach it to others. There is a very famous program called Super 30 every year. Even currently, even today, it's still working. That every year he is teaching a group of 30 people, and all of those 30 people will be qualified for the IIT examinations. All of them will be get good ranks in the IIT examinations, which is happening even today, right? So he started to share his knowledge to others. He just, first of all, he just tried to take his knowledge, and he just tried to grow with it. He just tried to implement it in his own life, but because lack of resources, he was unable to do that. So then he started to teach his knowledge to others. Today, because of that thing that he did, because he started to teach others, today a lot of the people, a lot of our poor people, the people who don't got a lot of money to for this higher IIT trainings, to attend higher IIT coaching centers, this person is giving them the free knowledge. He started to teach them, other people, how to about the concept that he was good at, his knowledge. Even though he don't got a lot of practical knowledge in that, he started to teach it to others, right? So he was a very famous person. That's the reason even Hrithik Roshan just made a movie on his biopic, right? So this is like kind of like he was like doing info business, guys. You see, he was like sharing his information, he was sharing his knowledge to others in an offline business world, of course. But the point I want you to understand here is, even though if you don't got knowledge, when we learn something from some expert, from some professor, from some book, from some by attending some course, or by attending some training centers, we got two options to use that knowledge. One thing is you can implement it in your own life. That's very common thing that everybody will do. But the second way is related to information business. You can turn what you learn from others into a information business, by creating your own sort of courses, by you creating your own workshops, by you creating your own info products, which means you are going to directly teach and transfer your knowledge that you got from so many different sources to others. It's like, instead of utilizing what you learned by your own self, now you are like serving your knowledge, sharing your knowledge to others, and you are serving a lot of more people by starting your info business, right? When you implement the knowledge that you got from some expert, only you are going to get benefited with that knowledge, right? But because now when you turn that into info business, you are going to create an impact in a lot of people's lives, because you are sharing your knowledge to others, right? So just like what Anand Kumar, the mathematician, did, if he utilized his knowledge by himself, if he have got to the Cambridge University, that may impacted his own life, okay? But now, because he started to teach it to others, he started to share his knowledge to others by creating his own educational institution, a lot more people, a lot more students, a lot more youth of our India, our nation, has started to got benefits of his knowledge, right? In the same way, when we are good at something, whatever that may be, whether it's a Facebook ads, whether it's a weight loss, whether it's a fitness, whether it's a whatever that may be, cooking, dancing, singing, playing musical instruments, photography, whatever that may be, when you got some knowledge, even though if you don't got the practical knowledge, even though if you haven't implemented it in your own life, still you can teach that knowledge to others. Because guys, you may have learned that you invested your time and money in learning those skills, in learning those getting that knowledge by reading some books, by attending some courses, by paying some money to some experts, right? So there is no wrong in teaching others your knowledge even though if you're not even though if you're unable to implement it in your own life, because a lot of the times, some of the times, we may not in a state to implement those things that we learned in our own business and in our own life, because of many reasons, like because of lack of money, lack of financial support, lack of support from family members, right? Lack of resources. We may not unable to implement those concepts in our own business and in our own life. But when we are unable to implement those things in our own life, there is no wrong to give that knowledge to others. For example, let me give a quick example in this so that it becomes very clear for you. Okay, so let's say that you just learned, you just bought some course or some challenge. Okay, you just paid money and you learn about how to how to lose weight, for example. Okay, you were very interested in that concept of weight loss, and you learned how to lose weight in 6 months, or else in 1 month. Okay, let's say that you learned, you bought some course how to lose weight in 30 days, which was very true, which was very genuine course. And that by following this course, by attending this course, or by following the method that you learned from that course, anybody can lose their weight. But now you may be already good and slim and thin, right? You no need to lose your weight, right? Now, do you think that that's wrong if you teach that with others? No, right? When you are already good in condition, and when you are already fit and slim, there is no wrong in sharing your knowledge to others that you learned from by attending some expert, right? That becomes our moral obligation to share that knowledge to others who may be suffering with heavy weight, who are interested in losing their weight, who are trying to lose their weight, right? So I hope you are getting the point here. Even though if we don't use, even though if we are unable to implement it, even though if we don't got any way to implement it in our own life, even though we don't want to implement it with our own life, we can still share it with others, share that knowledge to others, which is very genuine way to do it. Okay, and if I talk about in the money making niche, let's say that you learn how to run Facebook ads for specific business model. Let's say that you attended some course or some workshop, some challenge, or else let's say that you learn that from some offline world. You attended some digital marketing agency and you learn how to run Facebook ads. Now, but you may be in a situation where you cannot afford Facebook ads. You learn that skill, of course, you went and you paid money and you learned it, but now you came to know that you should be having some budget to test the Facebook ads with any business. Now you may be in a situation where we may be unable to we maybe don't have that budget to test that much of amount, right? But because we learned that from someone who's already doing Facebook ads, so we know that this model works, right? But we lack of resources, we are unable to implement it in our own business and in our own world. But still, we can directly transfer what we learn from others, we can directly teach what we learn from others to all other people who may be interested in that specific niche and specific field, guys. Okay, so so this is what I was trying to make it clear in this episode, that even though if you are not got a lot of practical knowledge, even though if you are unable to implement the concepts from in our life, still we can teach it to others, still we can share our knowledge to others. By implementing any knowledge, only we are going to get the results, get the benefits of that knowledge. But when we shift our mindset and when we start to share our knowledge to others, we are creating impact in a lot of other people's lives also, right? Which is very fulfilling way of living life according to me, helping others. Of course, we are going to charge money for that. That's a different matter. You can make money with your knowledge or with your skill by implementing it in your own life, or else you can also make money with the same knowledge, with the same skills, by sharing and teaching and selling that knowledge to others. That's called that. You can do that by getting into this information business world, info business world. Okay, so if you are interested in starting your own information business, you can check the links in the description for my private info hackers group, where I will be getting deeper with all of these concepts about how to start your own information business online. Okay, make sure you check the links in the description for the private info hackers Facebook group. Okay, so Finally, there are two ways to implement your knowledge, to make money with your knowledge or to implement your knowledge. Okay, one way is you can directly implement it in your own life and you can get the result of that thing. Or else you can start teaching to others, start sharing that knowledge to others, and you can also again get the results. Not only you, but also you are going to help others to get the results with your knowledge. Okay, so I always suggest to go with second way, because with the first way only we are going to get benefited with it, but when we are into the second way, when we start our info business, we are like serving the nation, we are like serving other people, we are helping other people, right? So with that said, make sure you check the links in the description to join my private info hackers group. Make sure you hit that like button. If you got any questions, make sure you comment down below. So with that said, talk to you again.